Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to have a look at the T110E4, how this tank is about to get better. It is about to get better. Finally, we have been calling for this tank to get better, or to get some kind of armor buff for such a long time, and mainly because it's just pointless playing. The tank is absolutely pointless playing at the moment if you have a tank like the T110E3. Now, the main cause of that is because of the armor profile. Now, if you look at the E3, the armor profile is so good, really good, one of the best in the game, in fact. It has the hatch on top, and it's very difficult to be able to penetrate that hatch, whereas the E4, it has weak armor. Yes, it has a turret. I understand it does have a turret. But the armor profile, I mean, even the front plate is nothing special. The bottom plate, very easy to pen. Upper plate, okay, is a lot difficult to pen. But for me, it's the hatch as well. Having so many weak points just is not worth playing this tank. It really isn't. This used to be one of my favorite tanks in the game. It really did. I used to love playing this tank, but over the years it's just kind of got boring. It's just kind of got boring, never ever been touched, never really been buffed or nerfed or anything. It's just left. But Wargaming in 8.2 are fixing that, and they are buffing it. They are buffing it, and it is a much needed buff. So they are buffing the armor profile. At the moment, I'm not 100% sure what they are buffing, but for me, it needs the hatch buff. It really needs the hatch buff, because as you can see, we're just going to turn it round. It's the same hatch. I mean, in a bush is not the best of positions. We'll have a look in a minute. It's the same hatch as basically the T110E3, but it's just so much more weaker. You can see how big it is. Now, the T110E3, if you look at the hatch on the T110E3, it's the same hatch, but only really the middle, like the very middle, is you can pen, like on some tanks, like big tanks, big TDs, and maybe some big heavies, that you can penetrate it using sort of your Pramo. But this, anyone can penetrate it. Anyone. I think it can even be heshed from a Death Star as well, like all over that hatch, anywhere on the hatch. So if they make all around the hatch like a lot red, and a lot more red, and just keep the middle as sort of it is, or maybe a little bit stronger, then this tank would be a really nice tank. It really would, because other than the hatch, the turret is fairly strong. The turret is fairly strong. It has obviously some weak points, but currently, I always say it, if you're grinding this line, once you get to the T30, don't rush it. Like, take your time, because the T30 is so much more fun playing than the T110E4. Hopefully, with the update, that does change. Hopefully, it does change, and this tank will be more enjoyable to play than the T30. The T30 is more because it's basically the same gun. It's more fun because it's basically the same gun, and it doesn't have that hatch that the E4 has got. Having said that, you can still perform in this tank like you can in any tank. Now, the E4, I had my highest ever damage in the E4 for a long time. My highest ever damage done in the game was in the E4 at 7,800 damage. Now, I done that about 5 years ago, maybe a little bit more. I have beat it since using the Death Star, but so you can still perform well, and we're going to see that from our guy here, who is a killer from the Zero Clan. Now, the problem with the tank, as I've said, is the armor profile. That's almost about it, to be honest. Like, that is almost about it. I don't mind the front plate being weak. I don't mind the front plate being weak. It does have a turret. It has pretty nice gun depression. Has nice penetration. It really, for me, the only downfall about this tank, I don't even mind the slow traverse or anything like that. the only downfall for me is that hatch, and it's just like, why would you want to play this tank when you can just go and drive out in a T110E3? I know the T110E3 doesn't have a turret, and the E4 does, but you know, it's super strong. The E3 with the speed boost, and this hasn't got the speed boost either. Not sure why. I don't know why give the E3 a speed boost but leave the E4. It's just like, yeah, you're leaving it out. You buff the E3, you give it the speed boost, and you're just leaving the E4 out, like completely. Haven't touched it. The only thing they've done with the E4 over the last few years is give it a legendary camouflage, which I still think is looking quite nice. It does look good, but like I said, just because it's a weak tank, it's probably one of the weakest in tier 10. It doesn't mean you can't perform well, and we're going to see that here. Like 6,300 damage so far. Still got a little bit of hit points he can waste, or he can save until he needs it, which he has done. He saved most of his hit points. He's now on 7k damage, so he's already done a pretty decent job. But it's a 1 versus 2 now. He has to prioritize what tank he is going to shoot, and you can see there, even up a ridge, he was still getting penetrated. Now the grill is coming from the left side. You have the Yo, but I would now prioritize this grill. He has to deal with this grill, but it's not easy dealing with the grill because the grill is a quick tank, and once he gets around this building, the E4 just cannot keep up with the grill. And I think this does deserve the speed boost. I think Wargaming should give this the speed boost. I mean, they gave it to most of the other American tanks. Why not this? Why leave this? I don't understand it. I really don't understand why they left this. Now, he does get lucky here. He does go for the Yo, and because obviously he shoots, the grill is now going to come out and get a shot. Now, the Yo has actually missed a couple of shots, which is a match winner here. So the grill has shot. He is able to now take care of the grill, and he's now just going to use this building to hide from the Yo whilst he's on that reload. Now the Yo doesn't look like the best of players, and he's going to make a mistake here. He's just going to poke out. I mean, when you're a one shot, do not come out sideways like this. But overall, that was a very good game. Not every game is going to be like that in the E4. Trust me, that's the highest damage game I've seen in the E4 for a very long time, if not ever. But you know, it can still perform. It's still got that good gun, but you just can't do things that you'd like to do with the tank, like go hold down. Because for me, it's not a tank destroyer. For me, it's a heavy tank. And when you're front line, you really need to sort of use the gun depression that the tank has got, but you can't do that because of that massive hatch on top. So I'm glad Wargaming are finally buffing the tank. Hopefully it will become a good tank and an enjoyable tank to play, and definitely a tank worth grinding. So let me know your thoughts on the buff. If you agree, then let me know in the comments. So if you like the video, guys, hit that subscribe button. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm Meadsy, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye bye. With